Hi, guys. Welcome back to Hear Me Out. I'm E.
I'm D.
And today we're going to talk about something controversial, and we're going to try to keep it as uncontroversial and as unpolitical as possible. So we stumbled upon an article, and the title is Prince William says he is deeply concerned about the human cost of the conflict in Gaza, where too many have been killed. So we're going to read this article, give you guys our opinions, and of course, let us know in the comments what you think, and let's get started.
So, actually, before I read the article, I'm going to read you Prince William's full statement for full context so that you guys don't say we're out here chopping and screwing things up.
Okay.
Okay? This is from the man himself. Prince William wrote, I remain deeply concerned about the terrible human cost of the conflict in the Middle East since the Hamas terrorist attack on October 7th. Too many have been killed. I, like so many others, want to see an end to the fighting as soon as possible. There is a desperate need for increased humanitarian support to Gaza. It's critical that aid gets in and hostages are released. Sometimes it is only when faced with the sheer scale of human suffering that the importance of permanent peace is brought home. Even in the darkest hour, we must not succumb to the counsel of despair. I continue to cling to the hope that a brighter future can be found, and I refuse to give up on that. Okay, so that was his full statement. So the Daily Mail article says, whew, Prince William, or the Prince of Wales, ramped up his family's response to the Israel-Hamas war after he and wife Kate had earlier put out a joint statement of distress. In a new and impassioned statement today, he insisted too many have been killed since Hamas terrorist attack on Israel on October 7th last year. Tory MPs were wary of publicly criticizing the heir to the throne over the intervention. Andrew Percy, vice chairman of the all-party parliamentary group on anti-Semitism, told Mail Online, the underlying principle of our constitutional monarchy is that members of the royal family do not engage in contentious political issues of the day on which there are divergent and strongly held beliefs in this country. Members of the royal family would do well to remember that. A former minister said, I think that it is very unwise for him to get involved in an issue like this. He is getting some seriously bad advice. I can only assume that he has not been able to speak to the king because he would certainly not have approved. Well, another Tory MP said the prince's statement used similar language as the government, but they suggested William had still been unwise to get involved in the issue, as both sides would now pray him in aid. I wonder how it would play out in the opposition debate tomorrow, the MP said, referring to the looming SNP motion demanding an immediate ceasefire. Reform UK Party President Nigel Farage posted on X, formerly Twitter, I'm not sure that our future king should be doing this. He should stick to the BAFTAs. William has been easing himself back into the public engagements after taking time off to look after his wife recovering from abdominal surgery. Yet his strident statement today gives a signal to his intentions when taking the throne. The royal's public remarks are the most outspoken by any member of the royal family since the Israel-Hamas war broke out and come in stark contrast to the late Queen's approach when she would steer clear of commenting on political issues. William, whose father Charles has been outspoken on environmental concerns, said today, I remain deeply concerned about the terrible human cost of the conflict in the Middle East. And we know the rest. So essentially, Kensington Palace, I'm sorry. The strongly worded message was issued in white writing on black background under William's cipher on the Wales's X account. Kensington Palace said the prince and princess were profoundly concerned by the events that unfolded in late 2023 and continue to hold all the victims, their families, and friends in their hearts and minds. The Royal Highnesses continue to share in the hope for a better future for all those affected. So, yeah, he also went on to meet with certain people. At the meeting with the British Red Cross today, the heir to the throne expressed his concern as a father at the ongoing crisis at the immense loss of life in the Middle East. He spoke to Rory Moylan, head of region for the neutral charity. The prince began by apologizing for having to postpone their original meeting last month, which of course was because of him helping Kate. It was important to me to get back in as soon as possible. I obviously went there in 2018, and I feel it had a lasting impression on me. So I have always been keeping an eye on what's going on. I am very keen to hear from you guys what's going on the ground and how the Red Cross teams in particular are managing in very difficult circumstances. Mr. Moylan explained, we really appreciate the interest you are showing in this. You will have heard it described as catastrophic situation, and that certainly matches our analysis. It's been getting worse for some time and has the potential to get exponentially worse, to be quite honest. Whew. Okay. So he also explained to the prince that the work of the Palestinian Red Crescent Society was instrumental on the ground. They are part of the communities, have been providing life-saving services, blood transfusion, running ambulance services, hospitals, and a central role in the logistics operation. William, who was accompanied by his international affairs advisor, David Hunt, who has been on secondment from the FCO since last summer, listened intently, occasionally chewing his lip in concern. And it continues just a little bit more about that meeting that he had at the Red Cross. I'm not sure if the article covers it, but I do recall hearing that he was going to also meet with additional people concerning the matter after the statement was released. But before I give any of my thoughts, what do you think?
Oh, man, I don't know. I think I have a lot of conflicting thoughts.
Interesting. Okay.
All right. So I guess one, why are we so focused on this now? I understand that a lot of lives were lost on both sides. Um, that's as political as I want to get, but obviously one side has been, you know, more so affected in this situation. So where was your attention then? Obviously, you said this was happening in 2023. We're now in 2024. I think that him and the whole world should have swooped in and done something at this point. Like a lot of lives were lost, a lot of kids' lives were lost. It's a travesty. It's a tragedy. Um, as him being vocal about it, I mean, I guess I have mixed feelings. I don't think he might know too much about it per se. And according to it being a constitutional monarchy, they don't really get into those affairs. But at the same time, Prince William is known in the whole wide world. Like, if we need to bring attention, no matter how late it is, and if it's from somebody that's notable and respected, like, why wouldn't I want him to jump in and help in any way possible? So I know that those are like kind of two different thoughts. Like, I know you don't need to do this or you shouldn't be doing this. And maybe it's even wise that you shouldn't do this because you might not know everything. You're not, you know, entrenched in the politics of it all. And,
Yeah.
But as far as bringing awareness to what's going on, which I mean, we're all pretty aware, but, bringing more awareness, bringing more resolution probably. I think it's a good thing that he's bringing it to light. I'll say that for now. What do you think?
Oh, I had been dying to ask you the question since you are our royalist, your monarchist that
I
believes things should be one particular way, that they've been done this way forever. But here's William doing something that
is
a royal
unconventional.
does. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's why I have two different thoughts. It's
Yeah.
like, well, if it's not customary for you to do it, then you should follow suit. But at the same time, this is something huge. So I think
Right.
whatever awareness could be brought from anyone, I think it's a good thing. No,
I had several, huh?
no matter how late it is.
I had several thoughts on it. Initially it was like, yeah, why now? Like what exactly occurred to prompt this.
Mm-hmm.
Although I did read, and I believe the article mentioned that there was going to be a vote in government the day after that statement was released last week, pertaining to some sort of, uh, I guess, resolution for them to call on a ceasefire. I believe it wasn't necessary that they would be doing anything in particular, I don't think. Um, but don't quote me. So I think maybe that is why I've read that there may have been some sort of involvement by a certain side of the government that influenced or helped to write the statement. This is just stuff that I read online. I'm not 100% sure. And so maybe that could be a reason why it, was released at that time. The other thought was, I agree with what you said. It is important to bring light and awareness to these sort of situations because it started back in October this time. But there's a history of this, and I think that the fact that here we are 4 months later still talking about it, um it is a travesty and a tragedy. And so any person who has the platform to be able to bring awareness to things, I think, um is appreciated.
Mhm.
And so whatever the intentions may have been, and even if he wasn't genuine, it still served a purpose to bring some sort of awareness. So I think that was a good thing. Then my other thought was, is he doing this to get some spotlight because other people from the royal family that aren't a part of the royal family anymore were getting a lot of shine before that?
What?
Yes. Yes, ma'am. That was
Give
one of
me
my
an
thoughts.
example. Give me an example.
Well, for like the beginning of the month, I want to say, or maybe midway through the month, I can't remember exactly. His brother and his sister-in-law were getting tons of airtime, tons of headlines everywhere. And then very shortly after, he was at the BAFTAs, which apparently was a last minute decision because it had been reported he wasn't going to go. Then it was he was. And so it was like, then he decided to show up. And then a few days after that, the statement was released, which again was a rare thing for anybody in the royal family to do. The
Hmm.
Like the article said, the queen famously stayed away from commenting on any sort of situations like those. Um, and so it just kind of like also made me think about the fact that I think we've pointed out before that he kind of tends to follow in Queen Elizabeth's footsteps in the way that he kind of goes about his business. So this being such a stark departure from that was surprising. And then the other thought was like, what did Charles say? Did Charles approve this? Because it's kind of odd. Like, I feel, and of course I could definitely be wrong here, but I feel like there's this disconnect between Buckingham Palace and Kensington Palace.
Hmm.
And William, I feel, is doing things without approval from his father, or I don't know. It just feels like some kind of a disconnect, you know? It just, something isn't adding up there. And the last thought that I had is, why did he have the W cipher and not the one that him and Kate have used? Like,
Hmm.
that was odd. The statement was very much I feel, I this, I that,
Hmm.
not we, which I also found odd.
I
But
think it's probably because Kate is out of the spotlight. So I don't know. I think it would be weird, at least to me, especially everything that's going on, to say we believe this, but we haven't seen her in a while.
then why would their social media person post the statement and say their royal highnesses feel this way when the statement was only William?
Somebody wrote it for them on social media.
But no, I
No,
mean,
that can't be a mishap. It's intentional. Everything they do is intentional.
right. So why would he intentionally just have his cipher that supposedly he hasn't used for a very long time and
I think
just
it's
out of nowhere?
Kate is out of office.
I
That's
would I
I
would
didn't think it was
think
that serious.
I would think it would be the best time to use the same one
Mhm.
to keep people from wondering what's going, because people are already wondering, and you guys will probably see this video soon, where is Kate? So people are already wondering this whole thing and speculating on Kate, and then he posts something that only has his royal cipher and doesn't include Kate. Like, it just, that's going to lead to further speculation. You get me? Like, if you want people to stop talking about where's Kate, or stop talking about, whatever speculation there's going on, that didn't seem like the right sort of move to make. Like, aside from, of course, the point of the message, which, like I said, I agree with you. However untimely it may be, or whatever the case, like, I think it was an important message, and necessary.
Mhm.
But 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 still, aside from that, it's like, wouldn't you want to, like, kind of just continue having the usual look of things,
Mhm.
considering that we just discussed, like, the week prior to that statement, the Sussex rebrand, and how they had, like, their thing, and we saw their website, we're like, what, like, what's going on here? It was, like, very strange, but very united. And then here William posts something that singular. Like, it seemed odd.
Mhm.
And yeah, maybe there's nothing to it, but it just seemed odd. And anyway, like I said, I do agree. Awareness is what's important. And the fact that he did that, it's something. It's definitely something. And if this is any indication of what his reign would look like, I do find it intriguing. Like, very intriguing, because there's going to be a lot of monarchists, a lot of royalists, or whatever they call themselves, who are not going to be happy about this. I just wonder how they're going to feel if
Mhm.
he does more of this.
I guess we'll stay tuned and see what happens.
Yeah.
But guys, let us know what you think in the comments about Prince William's statement, his cipher. Where is Kate? Obviously, like Dee said, you're gonna see our video because it's a frenzy in the internets.
Yeah.
Um, and whatever other comments you have, let us know. But that concludes today's video. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe, turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos. Also, please share our video. We're trying to grow our community so your friends could be our friends and we can all be friends. We also have social media, which Steve will tell you about.
We're on TikTok and Instagram at Hear Me Out DNE. So make sure you guys like, follow, share, and comment. One final thing though, guys, we've entered into the YouTube partnership program.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Did it do the thumbs up
Yes.
again? um, we are very grateful, and we appreciate everyone who watches, who comments, even if your comments are a little harsh. Um, we appreciate everybody, and we're very, very grateful for it all. Yeah, we're going to keep giving you our crazy ass opinions over here. But normally, guys, we're not being malicious. We may not like people, but that's fine. Like we always say, we agree to disagree. It always comes back to the same thing. We keep it moving. It's all good.
Guys, and if there's like anything that you want us to talk about, please leave it in the comments. You know, lately y'all leave like 100+ comments and it's hard to get through, but we'll find it. I promise.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we'll see you next time. Peace.
Bye.
Bye.